Hey, my name is McLean Bobbitt. I'm a real estate investor based out of East Texas. We are a wholesale operation, but we specialize in curative title, messy title deals that most investors run from. We've done fix and flip rentals, whatever you can think of, we've done it probably. But I'm going to answer a question that typically people slide into my DMs or in our group coaching. What they ask is, "What's your current team makeup?" And so we're going to take a few minutes today. I'm going to show you exactly what our current team setup is and why I love these positions that we have here, because it's not your traditional wholesale operation. It's not your traditional acquisition team you would think of. So we're going to dive into our most important person, which I'm kind of biased on this, and I'll tell you why, is our admin. So our admin is the number one person that I tell anyone to hire. Okay. You should hire an administrator because they're going to help you either build out new positions in your company. They're going to help you see where your blind spots are at. They're going to help you do the paperwork. Okay. So like if you're an entrepreneur or you're a business owner watching this video, take into account, and like in our group coaching, we have each student do this, is we do a delegation breakdown. So for example, you might think, oh, hey, I've got this paperwork that I can do. It takes me 10 seconds. I've got AI, I've got this. Okay. That's perfectly fine. But you are going to realize at some point that that dollar per task that you're doing, or dollar per hour task that you're doing, is costing you getting more sales, being the biggest leverage in your business, which for most business owners watching this video, it's going to be getting sales, going to do new revenue. That is going to be their number one thing, not doing the paperwork. So I normally tell myself whenever I'm starting out is if I do something more than 3 times in one day, I need to write it down on a list. So I would carry around a spiral, and I had a spiral in my backpack. And if I had anything more than 3 times in a day, I'd write it down. And I would go, how do we automate it? How do we systematize it? Okay, is this something that I can do, either delegate? Do I need to do SOP for this one? And you'll start realizing where you have shortcomings on it, which for me was paperwork and title company coordination, stuff like that. So wherever you're at, admin should be your first hire. Now, in regards to a wholesale acquisition, real estate acquisition, distressed property acquisition, whatever you want to call it, it's all basically the same thing, is we have a researcher. Okay. And your researcher, I'm going to do another video following up on this, is each person in those seats have different DISC personality tests that you need to fill in. For example, like a researcher person, they're very analytical. They can typically break down really complex situations, and they can figure out, hey, this is a relative, this is an aunt, this is uncle, whatever it might be. And that person is not going to be the same person you put on a cold caller or on an auto dialer, because that person is probably not going to be good at it. Just be honest with you. Okay. A researcher that we have for our distressed property acquisition, curative title acquisition, whatever you want to call it, the researcher's job is strictly to make sure that the acquisitions does not waste time doing researching. I don't want my acquisition team looking at a deal and going, let me go find out what school they went to, what high school they went to, who was their prom date, what's their mom's maiden name. I don't want them looking up any of that. I want them to look at it and go, who is the next viable point of contact that is alive and can talk to us about this property? Okay. So your researcher should be your second hire if you are running a curative title team. Okay. The next hire you can have is going to be your acquisition. Okay. Acquisitions. So for us, we have 2 acquisitions on our team. We have 1 admin, 1 researcher, 2 acquisitions. And then we just brought on a transaction coordinator. Okay. And I obviously do acquisitions as well. I still love it. So acquisitions, that needs to be the last thing that you replace. So like I was saying a second ago, the biggest fulcrum in your business to generate new revenue, new business, it's going to be in the sales role. It's not going to be you going and sorting out the paperwork and make sure everything looks pretty and like whatever it might be. You as the business owner, if you're watching this video, or any kind of solo operator, your biggest moneymaker is going to be you getting sales and going to grow the business. Okay. So your acquisition is going to be your last person that you replace, which is essentially 80 to 90% of what you do. So your acquisition person is typically not going to be your admin, your researcher type personalities. It's going to be someone that's got a little bit more of a medium driver personality. And I will tell you this, we have 100+ people that have come through our group coaching, our one-on-ones. And I will tell you, your acquisition person is not going to be the one you think when it comes to curative title work. It's going to be the people who can think through the situations. It's not just going to get a contract because someone has a pulse, they're related, or they can sign a contract, which is typically what most real estate wholesalers, that's what they do, is they'll get a contract and they'll go figure it out, and it's the wrong person or it's the wrong property. I've seen this happen. But your acquisitions person for Curative Title is going to be someone who has a medium driver personality and either a medium I or an S personality. So if you're familiar with the DISC personality test, it's DISC. And you want to find those types of people because, for example, if they start talking to someone, let's say it's the granddaughter of the owner, and they start talking to them, and most acquisition people will go, okay, great, let me talk to the actual decision maker. And these types of deals, you have to have someone that's a thinker before they are a shooter. So what I mean by that is someone that goes, hey, this is the granddaughter. She probably has a mom. Let me talk to the mom. Okay. Mom probably takes care of the grandma. Let's figure out how this goes. That's what I'm talking about. That will be the difference in you finding deals and getting deals that other investors are not even touching. Is you have cold callers that are just straight beeline, hey, we're looking for the correct person. And they're not going to stop to think, hey, let's work this chain. Let's go see if we can find grandma's daughter. Let's go see if we can find the aunt, uncle that takes care of grandma, things like that. Okay. Our next person we have on our team is our transaction coordinator. Okay. Now, whenever it comes to curative title work, either you're closing a deal in title, so you're going to obviously have your standard procedure for closing something in title, your escrow officer, title commitments, all that. Now, whenever you do curative title, you're obviously speeding up that timeline because you're doing it all in-house, you're doing it outside of title, and then you have to realize your closing times go from like 3 weeks to like 24 hours. And personally, the fastest deal we have ever closed on, I'm talking we have ownership, deed in hand, filed at the county, it has been 3.5 hours for us, okay? So 3.5 hours from the time we talked to the seller to the time we had the deed filed at the county. Super quick. So when you have situations like that, your transaction coordinator needs to be spot on. If you're doing deed buyouts, so for example, if you have a seller that all of a sudden gets on the phone, they're like, hey, I'm going to sell you my portion of the deed for $500 or $1,000. You need to have someone that's Johnny on the spot, can get it done ASAP, and has the paperwork internally to get it done. Again, we show you how to do this in our group. So if that's something you're looking to do, cool, we can help you out with that. But this is the core of our team right here, okay? Typically what I see is teams of 4 to 5 people. You can have a team of 3, but 3 to 7 on your team is ideally the sweet spot for curative title work, especially whenever you have each person as a designated position or they have a specialty that they focus on. You want those types of people to be A-team people, not volume. So in contrast to that is whenever we were running a wholesale operation, just straight wholesale, give you an idea. So we had 4 cold callers, we had 2 lead managers, and then we had a transaction coordinator, and then who knows what else. Basically, the team was overinflated, and it was more of a mass volume operation. So I love the curative title space because, one, you can have a smaller team, for one. You can be more efficient with each person's seat. And then 3, your calls per deal, your conversations per deal is going from maybe 500 conversations to like 20 conversations or even 5. My personal KPIs in the last month is about 1 in 6. And that's 1 in 6 dials I'm getting a deal. Okay. That's my personal ones. Obviously I've got some experience. These are cold leads here and we have them on Zoom calls. I'm doing them live. Okay. So I can show you those metrics if you want, show them live closings, things like that. But the point of it being is you can be more efficient and take those sniper approaches on these types of deals versus mass marketing, wasting $7,000 on SEO or PPC. So if you're looking to do something like that, you want to be more refined, more efficient, and not have that inflated team that you're a slave to the business. That's what we're doing in our community. And if you like this video, come follow some more content for us, or you can reach out, follow our community, sign up for it. And we do offer personalized coaching if that's something you want as an experienced operator. But I hope this gives you a vision and clarity that you don't need 20 people on your team. You don't need 30. You can have an efficient team of highly qualified operators on your team. And if you love more content like this, subscribe to the channel, and we'll get you more content.